All right, I got an idea, and it's a different idea. This time, I want to talk about how does somebody, a level one person, gain influence? And I think that's a very good question. I think that's a very good question because, when we really think about that, that doesn't make any sense. A level one, level zero to level one individual should not be able to have substantial influence over anything. How does that happen? Because to me, here's the thing, man. In life, right? You gotta learn to trust yourself a little bit, trust your instincts a little bit. Sometimes things look a certain way and they play out a certain way, but you don't really think about them properly. You know what I mean? Oh, this looks like that, but that happened and no, it's like, you know what I mean? Let's read into the situation a bit. You can't be level zero, level one, and have influence in anything. You can have influence, but you will have very little influence. You know what I mean? People at that level, they don't have influence. I never had any influence. And I told you the story about the Homer Simpson going by, stepping on the bug, and things changed like crazy. Like, I had no change in influence in anything. Yeah, people would ask me my opinion on things, and if I knew about it, I'd tell them about it. But the truth is that I had no influence on them. I'd tell them, they'd hear it, then they'd ask the same thing to three or four more people. Somebody was further along. I'd tell them, and they go with what that person said. I don't think it's possible for a level zero to level one person to have any influence on anything. I think it's a big game that people might play. You know what I mean? And people love to play games with. Okay, so I'll tell you. So at level one, people don't like playing games with you unless, like I said, look how real this shit is that I say. Listen to this. Unless you're the best in your class and you're using cheap little tricks, cheap values to beat people who are at level three or level four. That's gonna make you stand out from everybody. Even your initial at level one, you're able to grasp attention or to create excitement. At level one, that can be huge. You know what I mean? That can be absolutely huge, right? But really, a person at level zero to level one has no influence. But that's just a game that people play. It's people who are further along and more advanced that are actually doing the influencing. And they're just making it pretend and look a certain way. It's not like that at all, man. It's not like that. The world doesn't work like that, man. The world doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? You might say, for example, this guy could never, no girls were into him, all of a sudden girls into him. Well, how about this as a thought? What if he was older than the girls? You know what I mean? Or there was no chemistry, for example. Well, there was no chemistry and that's what it was. Yeah, but how did he end up dating so many girls or meeting so many girls? Well, what about his whole life, man? There's probably girls that grew up at one point and they're adults and they're all thinking about this guy, for example. You know what I mean? And they all had a crush on him or something, and he ends up meeting a lot of girls. That's just something that it is. You know what I mean? And I'll explain that if you want to. Girls will always remember the boy that was like the take. You know what I mean? Like, he was the value take. The most valuable player usually does not get most valuable player award, right? The MVP doesn't really get the MVP award. I'll tell you that right now. And girls know that stuff too. You might sit there going, who's that guy from Soul Decision? The blonde guy, he's supposed to be very good looking, the main singer. You might go, oh, he's the take of the cake, he's the blah 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 blah. All the girls probably, he's a pretty boy. All the girls like him. It's not like that, man. I grew up as a kid. I know how kids think. I know how adults think, man. It's never like that. The most special boy in the lives of females is one that no one has heard of. It's always a boy that nobody has heard of because those females wanted to keep him a secret. They didn't want the world to know how much, they wanted him or how much they liked him. If they did that, they would just lose him. You know what I mean? They would just lose him. He'd become a big star type character. And the last thing girls want is a boy that was special to them to become a rock star. That boy becomes a rock star. Do you really want to sit through this boy just going after groupies and like it's groupies all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like that shit is crazy, man, you know. But I will tell you one thing. As of today, I'm not at level 0 or level 1. I'm not. So if I did have an influence, I would have an influence. But the thing is, I'm not at level 0 or level 1. I think I'm further along than most people in this world. You know, when you take everyone in this world and you go, most people are make up this amount, I think I'm more ahead than them. I definitely think I'm ahead of most people as of today. And this is the first time that, okay, let's say I would have put up a video 10 years ago and I would have gotten millions of views, but my counter would have only said 3 or 4. And I would have gotten maximum of 1 comment. You know what I mean? That's a different situation. But here, I mean, this is the first time I've actually been recognized. I have never been recognized by that many people ever. You know what I mean? Not even close. Not even close. Even if I was going to go do a sport or something, there's barely anybody coming to watch me. Nobody even gave a shit. You know what I mean? But that's because I was in the shadow world. I was a level 1. Dude, I really was one of a kind, man. That's just the fact, you know? How am I supposed to sugarcoat the fact that I was a one-of-a-kind type of person? And you know what? Rather than have influence that was causing negativity, I'll tell you what the truth was. The influence of that level 1 person who was me in my past was all positive. Or it's mostly positive at least. And people were trying to spin it around because they couldn't believe that somebody could do that. You know, people were making false claims that he's causing this, he's causing that. But 99% of everything coming out of me was the positive. Was better for people, was better for the planet. You know what I mean? Everything I was saying was creating a good influence. And the truth was that the people sailing against me were just way too advanced for me to defeat them. And they were defeating me as far as influence goes. Influence and power, they were doing way more than me. You know what I mean? I kind of worked backwards. I made the connections. I started making the money. I worked backwards. I did everything backwards. At the end, I put myself at a position of a caliber which actually fit that position that I hold today, that I am where I am today. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm fast enough and I'm further along enough to be in this position, you know, and it's a strong thing. Dude, there was no way that I was ever gonna get over 10,000 views on any YouTube channel, even if I spent 6 or 7 years on it. I would have gotten 950 views. Okay. There's no way I could have gotten that many views in a couple of months. You know what I mean? That's just proof of the pudding of how much further along I gotta tell you. And I'm serious. If I started hitting 100, 200, 300,000 views, I'm definitely looking at, like, I might not drop the channel, but I might just leave it where it is. You know what I mean? Leave it where it is so that I don't gain more views and just leave it as it is. You know what I mean? But it's not something that I believe me. Even if I was gonna make money off of it, I don't want to make money. It's not something that I want to do. I don't want to have millions of views and make money off it. And I'm being real with you. And I know you. And you know I'm being real with you. I wouldn't do that, man. But I'm glad to be legit. I'm just happy to get the 10,000 views, man. It just makes my stuff legit, man. It shows that it's publicly being seen, and the fact that YouTube can release those figures, you know, and it's official, I think it's the coolest thing ever. But I am further along. You know what I mean? I am a lot further along. I always had it in me. I had the potential. I was just stuck in a shell. Cause, dude, let's face it, I was a different kind of being. You know what I mean? And as of today, I'm able to do more. I'm able to say more. I'm able to make a difference more so because I am literally at a further along level. Now, you know, you know, we all, listen, man, we're all different, man. We all fit into different categories. I can't put myself in categories that I don't belong in and that I don't want to be in. Now, I'll tell you something. By no means when I say stuff like, you know, you're rich because you've been rich all your life, money's ever been an issue, blah, blah, blah. You know, what I was talking about earlier, the other day. By no means do I mean that less is more or less is better. No, I don't mean that at all. And let me clarify what I mean. What I mean is that I deserve to hang out with those guys, you know, and I'll explain why to you, right? First of all, those guys aren't losers, you know. First of all, they're not losers when it comes. I'm not a loser when it comes to money. I'm worth at least $4 or $5 million. Okay, at least, well, if it were appraised, it would be at least $5 million that I'm worth. Okay, if I was gonna flip it in a short amount of time, it would probably be 5 million as far as, People are. I'm not an expert. Okay, so if experts can claim that their expert 5 million is appraisal value. Okay, that's the net worth, right? These guys that I'm talking about, by no means, they're not poor, but they're not exactly billionaires. Okay, they are millionaires and they're self-made and they got strong qualities. That's what we pride ourselves on as men, is our strong qualities. The money it didn't come first. The money came after. The strong qualities came first, and then we made the money. First we got that, and then we got the money. You know what I mean? The money came afterwards. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? That's what I pride myself on. No, it's not the fact that it doesn't just have to, first of all, it does have to do with pride, but really, it has to do with what fits. I can't fit into a group that I don't fit into, man. I can't go hang out with the Remy boys. You know what I mean? I'm not, either they got Fetty Wap or they want me to be Fetty Wap. No, I don't want to hang out with the Remy boys, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to hang out with them at all. If I'm walking somewhere and they happen to talk to someone who's in the same group, I would probably just keep walking, to be honest. I don't want to hang out with the Remy boys, man. You know what I mean? I want to hang out. These are the guys who are like me, and I want to hang out with these guys. We're stronger, man. You know what I mean? If anything, if these guys might, whatever the case is, this is the group that I genuinely fit into. Other than the fact of the pride, where I'm proud to be in this group, that's a group I fit into. By no means are we poor. By no means are we losers. By no means are we weak. So I'm glad to be in this group. You know what I mean? That's it.